everyone. Thanks so much for joining me today at Tiny Barn Farm. My name is Jennifer, and I wanted to update you on what's happening here on the farm. It was quite a brutal winter. Hubby spent a lot of time clearing snow. And he was out there on our little John Deere tractor doing a lot of snow clearing this year, and I just kept bringing the firewood in and keeping the little wood stove going on those cloudy days. We live in a passive house, so we're pretty fortunate that if we get sun, then we don't need heat. We get those cloudy, snowy days, then the wood stove is going. So that was kind of nice having that. We were able to get outside. We did a lot of snowshoeing, which was really nice. We just started making plans to actually clear some of the evergreens in our view. So outside of our window from our home, we have a farm field view, but we get these evergreens popping up. They're spruce trees, and because they grow so quickly, we actually wanted to keep some of them down so that it doesn't grow into a forest. So instead of plowing or bush hogging our cleared land, we just selected some trees that we were just going to take down before they got too big. So we did that this year. So once March hit and there was less snow on the ground, we were able to get out there and take some trees down. Morning, everyone. We're actually going to be heading to the yard, and we're going to take a few trees down, a few evergreens. We'll grab the pole saw. I'm going to first start with taking some of the lower branches down, and then we're going to use the chainsaw, cut down the rest. Let's see. Pole saw. So this is going to be our first tree we take down, and probably a couple of the small ones. We just kind of picked a few trees. Here's a before and after of the view change. So it's pretty subtle, but at least we know that some of those trees aren't just going to get gigantic and start blocking our view. We're going to actually rent a wood chipper probably in the next 2 to 3 weeks. And we're going to use that mulch in the gardens. Also, we wanted to ensure that we took those trees down before the birds started selecting their nesting spots, to ensure that it was well before nesting season that we just clipped some of those trees down, and now they're free to nest in the rest of them because there's still lots more. We also did a few indoor projects this year, which was kind of nice. Hubby was home for a couple months, so we were able to do a few built-in projects, just built-in cabinetry, especially in the bathroom. But we also hung an old schoolhouse light fixture in our entranceway, which I was pretty excited about.
I figure if my hands are sweaty, it'll be better grip.
Do you want me to hold onto your legs or anything?
No. Okay. That's it. I think that's it.
Oh my God, look how nice that is.
Yeah, see, how easy is that? Okay, let me turn on the light.
Yeah.
Watch this.
There it is, our antique light fixture. Oh, it's pretty exciting seeing that go up. We've had a naked bulb up there for 2 years. This fixture's probably over 100 years old. Oh, and it's just incredible. I love these schoolhouse light fixtures. We still need a thing up there, vent cover, but we'll get there. But happy to see that piece go up. Beautiful. Our house kind of from a distance looks like an old schoolhouse or possibly an old church. We often get asked if it's a renovated old church, but actually it's a brand new building. When you walk into the main entrance, I really wanted to have a feature light there, so I was able to find an old school light fixture, and then we had it rewired, and so we put that up this winter, which was, it looks so great when you walk in. It just kind of gives you a little bit of that nod to the history of the area. Another thing that we did this winter that really made it kind of sweet and cozy was just enjoying the company of our 2 cats, Maud and Mabel. We adopted them from a local pet rescue, so they were already over a year old. And they're bonded sisters, so they're really, really close. They groom each other and they play together, and they're just the sweetest, most gentle cats. And they've been loving life here, especially with the big windows in the house and the warm wood stove in the winter. So it's just been a pleasure, and they're so funny, and they're just wonderful little critters.
Hi, Mabel. Hello, baby. Hello, upside down cat. Hi. How are you, baby girl? Oh, you're napping? Oh, you're so happy. Mabel has just discovered how warm it is under the duvet. This is her first under the duvet experience. I think she likes it.
We're actually planning to build a catio this spring out one of the windows. So because we live on such a wild property, we get a lot of foxes and wolves and hawks and eagles and things like that. So they're not gonna be outdoor cats, but they'll definitely have a nice safe enclosure outside. I'm gonna be definitely doing a video about that build project because I've got some pretty neat ideas for that one. So stay tuned. Why don't we just get right into the seeds? So I got my seed order. Oh, I was so excited. Actually, they came later. The seed company that I usually get them from is in Ontario. They're called William Dam Seeds, and I usually get most of my seeds from them. They were a little late this year. They actually said that they were overrun with seed orders this year, which is a really good sign. That just means a lot of people are putting in gardens this year, which I always love to see. But we got a whole bunch of seeds. I actually have started my tomatoes and peppers a little later than usual. Actually, the tomatoes I start in April because I don't like them to get too big. Our last frost is quite late. It's usually well into June. So I always start my tomato seeds in early April. So I got those on time. The peppers were a little later because usually I start my peppers in early March. So they were about a month late. But that's okay. I seeded them anyway. We're only going to do a few pepper plants this year, probably in pots rather than out in the garden. They just seem to like the heat more, so I can put them up against the house near the base of the house. It'll get nice and warm on the south side. So that's what I'm planning to do with the peppers. If they make it, I'm trying to keep them away from the cats. So hopefully they make it. This is my little seed bank. This is an old mailbox. And I keep my seeds in here. It's just in little files. I've had this forever and it just works really well for me. So I'll begin with probably the most exciting is my pollinator seeds. So I'm going to be planting quite a lot of flowers this year. I just got so much joy out of the flowers in the garden last year that I've decided I'm going to do an entire ring around the garden in all flowers. They were just covered in bees and butterflies. It was just incredible. So, and these seeds do really well. So I'm definitely going to be planting like tons. And I think there's just, how many? There's 100 grams of seeds in each bag. There's a lot of seeds in here. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. I also got sunflowers. I just bought the regular sized ones because I like them as cut flowers. And I also bought more lavender. I love lavender. I dried some of it last year and it was, I just keep it in a little jar by my bed and it's lovely for relaxing. Oh, beans. So bush beans, I always grow the yellow ones for bush beans. These are delicious. I always grow these every year and they're called the Valdor. They do really well. These I have left over from last year. These are dry beans, so I'm going to be planting these ones. I think there's some Jacob's cattle in there, some black beans, yellow-eyed baking beans. I'm going to grow lettuce this year. I actually don't usually grow lettuce. It's really easy to grow. I used to grow the baby lettuce all the time, but I just found that it was really tedious to like harvest and wash but you know what? I kind of miss it. I kind of miss a good salad. So I just got a couple of lettuces. One of them is a butter crunch, which is always delicious. And then the other one is just like a ruby frilly lettuce. So that'll be nice to have some salads this year. I'm going to grow cabbage again. This is a reaction hybrid organic. It creates pretty nice cabbages. I actually made a sauerkraut last year with it and it's still in the fridge. So that I'm going to grow again. I'm not going to do too many, but there's about 30 seeds in here, so that should be plenty. Collards, always a nice green. So I'm going to be growing that again. It did really well last year and I was able to freeze a lot of it and I'm still using it. So that I'm definitely growing. Brussels sprouts. I tried to grow them last year. Didn't get many Brussels sprouts. I'm going to try again. Just be a little more, I'll just pay more attention to them. So I'm going to try those again. And then the Bellstar hybrid organic broccoli grows really, really well here. I don't know what it is about the soil, but it grows really good broccoli. So I'm going to be growing that again this year. And there's 150 seeds in here. And I might just plant them all, see what happens. Carrots. I get kind of the same varieties every year. I got bigger packages this year because we like to have a lot of carrots. Purple haze. I always plant these. And they're really deep, beautiful purple with an orange center. And they are the most delicious carrots I've ever had. Ever in my life. The Yaya hybrid, a really good carrot, not as sweet as the purple haze, but really good carrot. They grow really well. And also the Miami hybrid organic grows really well. So these are kind of my three go-to. I've been buying these for years, so I'll be planting those again. I have yet to grow cucumber here. I don't know why. I think I've been stuck on the idea that I have to have a trellis for the cucumbers and I just never get around to making the trellis. So, but my neighbor who's lived here his entire life just grows cucumbers on the ground. So if I don't get around to the trellis thing this year, I'm just going to plant them and then just grow them on the ground, which is probably fine. So I just got the Market More cucumber. Basil is a go-to, of course. I always grow basil. I've got other herbs that are already in the garden. Parsley that comes up every year, and oregano comes up every year. Last year I started asparagus. And they just took off. So hopefully this year, maybe we'll get little skinny asparagus. I know they take a few years to establish to full size, but the plants were like 4 feet high last year. So we'll see how we do on the asparagus front. Bunching onions, I grow these like crazy. These have 5,000 seeds and I'll probably plant them all because I harvest them all in the fall. We eat them fresh, but come fall, I just harvest them all, wash them, cut them up, put them in freezer bags, and they're awesome through the winter. Snow peas, these always do really well. They're really nice because they're like the first crop we get. I grow these up on a trellis and I will be growing them again this year because they're delicious and you just eat them off the vine. And I always find when you just have a fresh snow pea, it tastes like the garden. There's something about that flavor that just, I don't know, it's very nostalgic for me. So I'll be growing that this year. And I also just got some sweet corn. I haven't had a whole luck with corn. Every time it creates a corn cob, the raccoons seem to get to it, little buggers. Anyway, we have released wild raccoons onto this property, so I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but I'm going to try to get to the corn before they get to it. Anyway, it's okay. We can share. Hot peppers. So these I've planted. I believe I've planted some of these already. I only did a few peppers this year. I'll show you the seedlings I have for the peppers shortly. Okay, and kale. This is my favorite kale, Black Magic. It's really a really good grower and it's very good. That's also something that freezes really well. I don't know why. It's another one of those weird things. Spinach is usually very easy to grow, but for some reason I can't grow it here. And if anybody knows why What am I missing in my soil that spinach isn't growing? It just seems very strange. Maybe there's like a little bunny rabbit coming around and eating it and I don't notice. But anyway, I'm gonna try again to grow spinach. I like it in omelets in the morning. So we'll see. Oh, and the tomatoes that I've already started, but I'll go through the ones that I did plant. This is a Pisano hybrid organic tomato. And it's kind of like the San Marzanos. I usually always grow San Marzanos, but they didn't have them this year. So I'm trying this one. But it's a paste tomato to make tomato sauce and salsa and things like that. I find these usually grow really well. So hopefully this one grows just as well as the San Marzanos. Sun Sugar. This is my annual go-to little sweet cherry tomato. Delicious. This is a new one I'm trying. It's another little cherry tomato. Every year I grow this. The Sakura hybrid organic tomato. I tell you, they grow like grapes, but they're a little larger. They're almost like golf ball size. Really prolific. They grow like crazy. One day I'll have a greenhouse. We're actually planning to put in a greenhouse, but it's probably not going to be done this year. So that's why I went just with cherry tomatoes and the paste tomatoes, because I find that the more beefsteak sized tomatoes just don't do well out in the field. I don't know why, but they are not very happy out there. So we only get like, I don't know, 5 or 6 like kind of funny looking tomatoes off those plants. But I do find that the cherry tomatoes do really well. We get lots. So I'm just going to stick with those. I think it's our northern climate somehow, but the greenhouse I know will change that because it'll be a lot warmer. Winter squash. I know that you're not really supposed to mix squashes in your garden because they cross-pollinate. However, I feel that because our garden is 100 feet by 100 feet, and it's round, but it's huge, I usually spread out the squash like in the 4 corners, so they're quite far away from each other. So hopefully that'll kind of deter some of that mixing of the squash plants. Last year we had some pretty good luck. Our squash seemed to be pretty pure. I'll put in one of the fall videos of our pumpkin harvest from last year because we got tons of these pumpkins. We still have some in the freezer that I've been making pumpkin muffins. It seems to be a favorite around here. But the Jack Sprat hybrid, really, really prolific, makes these adorable little pie pumpkins. Butternut squash, this is just a favorite. I love butternut squash, and I did get a few last year, so I'll be planting these again. Delicata squash, I love. You can just slice up with the skin on and everything and just put it in the oven and roast it, and it's so delicious. And we did get a few last year, not as many as I hoped. I'm gonna try it again and see what happens. And zucchini, of course, last year, my God, we got overrun with zucchini. This year, I'm not gonna plant as many, but I always get the Black Beauty and it just does really well. I'm gonna show you the pepper and tomato seedlings that I have. And then we'll get into the garden plans because I want to show you what we currently have and then what we're transforming it into. So yeah, I'll go through that after I show you the seedlings. So let's have a walk over to the other side here. In the window, I've got my little seedlings sitting there. So nice and warm, just as they like it. So I believe these are peppers. We've got 2 coming up so far. Hopefully we'll get more than that. I'm hoping for about 4 plants, so not too bad. And these are all tomatoes. They're still really tiny, but they're the 4 different varieties. We got a pretty good number, and I'm gonna be happy with that because having the cats here, it's gonna be really challenging to keep them away from the plants this year. So I'm just gonna build like kind of probably a little bit of a bigger greenhouse. Right now this little cover is okay, but I'm probably gonna build something that's a little more protective so that they don't get to them as they grow. And then hopefully by next year, the loft and the barn will be ready and I can grow them out there. It'll be a nice heated environment for them. But for now, we keep them protected with this high security plastic. And hopefully the cats will stay away from those. Hopefully. Speaking of cats, here's Mabel. Hi, sweetheart. Oh, hello. Hello, little cuddle muffin. I'll go through the garden plans with you and show you what what I'm up to.
So this is what we had last year. So this is a 100-foot by 100-foot garden. And I just had all my different vegetables and fruit listed here. And I have, so around the perimeter, I've got a couple apple trees, I've got my compost pile, and then all around the perimeter is all fruit bushes. And in the center, we kind of had more of our herb garden, but I'm going to be changing it a bit this year. So that's what we had. That was a layout from last year. And this year, this is a lot larger. This year, I'm actually adding, so I'm changing the entire layout of the garden. It's still the same size, so all the berry bushes are permanently around the perimeter, but I'm adding a 4-foot path all the way around. So that's going to be mulched. Hopefully the mulch from our spruce trees will go in there. And then we also brought irrigation to the garden. So if you want to see how we installed that irrigation line, it was quite the project. I'll add the link to that video from last fall. The hydrant is sitting there. We haven't hooked up the water yet, but the irrigation line is going to run along this path. Instead of being straight in straight little rows, we're going to have them all curved. And then a 4-foot wide path around here. And then kind of a center area that's 8 feet in diameter, because what I'd like to put in there is a bird bath. So I'm still going to keep my herbs and my lavender in this area, but I'd really, really like to have a bird bath in the center. So this would be all mulch. So you could walk right through the garden, through the center, and have like 4 access points. And also, and so the pollinator flowers, which is these, they're going to go around this perimeter in this garden. So these are 3 feet wide. So all the way around is going to be all flowers, and then all the vegetables are going to be in the center, like towards the center. And then in here, I'll probably have lavender around here. That'll come up every year around the bird bath. And then around here will be all herbs. I often wonder if I'm totally insane doing this garden, but I've done a large garden like this for many, many years. It just was kind of spread out across a property that we used to own, but on this property, this is going to be my only garden, but it is quite large. We'll be going through a lot of step-by-step information on how this garden comes together. So I wanted to thank you all so much for joining me today. Now that spring is here, we're springing into action with all the projects here at Tiny Barn Farm. So be sure to tune in next time, and I hope you all have a wonderful week and enjoy this lovely spring / somewhat winter weather we're having. We'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.